Good. Okay, 10 p.m. here in Norway, and whatever time it is where you are, it's time for a heart-brain-coherence session. And today, without any heart-brain coherence, actually, we'll do a different kind of meditation. Still a bit of the same, but we're not focusing on our heart so much. We have a bit of a tricky theme today. It's my favorite theme. I want to talk about the other side, and then I mean really like heaven, the realm where our spirit guides are, where our deceased loved ones are, whatever you want to call it. The realm we can't see, but we can sense. Many people claim they can sense it. That's okay. But there are people like mediums that know they can sense it. They have direct communication with that side there. And why I want to talk about that, because as you know me, I'm from the scientific side of things. I have my degree in radiation, biological use of radiation, and worked at a hospital for many years in cancer care. Why are you talking about the other side and mediumship, etc.? Well, what I discovered myself, and also people that joined my courses and workshops, is that through the meditation techniques we do, we can have experiences that resemble, and I think actually are in connection to, what we call the other side. The first things we learn in my courses is what is reality, and then you also learn that a big part of reality we can't actually sense with our five senses, but it is there. I often talk about X-rays. I work with X-rays. We can't see them, we can't smell them. For low doses, we can't feel them even, but they are there. We make X-ray pictures of them. We use them in radiation therapy to even damage cancer cells. So, but with our five senses, we can't detect them. And there are a lot of other stuff and other frequencies and radiations, and there's actually the whole electromagnetic spectrum that is known to us. Only a tiny, tiny, minuscule percentage of that electromagnetic spectrum are the frequencies we detect with our body, with our five senses. And we call that, when we decode that, when our brain makes an image of that, or a sound, or a smell, or a feeling, or a taste of that, we call that reality. But that's just, again, minuscule part of reality. There's so much more we can't detect with our body, with our five senses, of that reality. So also, it makes it absolutely possible and plausible that when we die, when our loved ones die, our pets die, our energy, our frequency is still there. It's just not connected to our body anymore. And can we get in touch with that, with those energies? Can we get in touch with those frequencies? It's all electromagnetic radiation. It's all like tuning in to the right radio frequency, basically. That's what we do. That's what we do all the time with our work in transformational meditation. So yeah, sometimes we can get to that part where, we have experiences during a meditation, or even after a meditation, or having done a whole meditation course, or having set up a daily meditation practice. You can come into situations where you notice that, hey, something is happening that really is something like, oh, am I in touch with a loved one that has passed over to the other side, maybe? That can happen. So, let me see. I think everything's still okay on Matrix, yeah. Strange things happening here too. That's also something I notice often during our offline meditation sessions here in town, when we do deep meditation, that our whole group is in a state of being where they affect the electric equipment in the room. It's not uncommon that during a meditation session, without me touching anything of the musical equipment, the music starts playing from the start again, or that a light goes out completely, or that the temperature changes in the room all of a sudden. So we are in connection with a big part of reality that we can't see, can't sense with our five senses, but yet we are in communication with it. I had students in my workshops that came back to me after a couple of weeks and said, geez, I have dreams and they are predictive dreams. Something happening and it happened the next week. There was a young woman that dreamt about a girl that went missing here in town. And lo and behold, a week later, there was a girl missing in town, and she exactly knew, because of her dream, where that girl was. So she could help and try to search. So these things can happen. And that's what I mean also with the other side. We have a connection with a part of reality that we can't sense with our five senses. And then is the choice what you want to do with it. Do you want to continue to explore it? Do you want to shut yourself off for it because it's not a realm you want to connect with? And that's okay. That's fine. There are also a lot of people, especially children, that have difficulty coping with that because they have a way of dealing or a way of communicating with the other side that their friends don't understand, and they may maybe get conflicts because of that, and they want to close themselves off, and we have meditation techniques for that as well. But for those, especially like me, I like to explore everything. I love this kind of stuff. I'm so curious, so I like to play around with it. I like to play with consciousness, and that's what we do also every summer. With our summer meditations, we play with the possibilities we have with our consciousness. So I want to try that today as well. What we are going to use is not primarily our heart, even though we can use our heart as a sensory organ. As you know, our heart creates a big electromagnetic field around us, and it works a bit like an antenna, radio transmitter and receiver. In that field around the heart is encoded our state of being. Scientists have measured that at the moment we change our state of being, our feelings and emotions, that electromagnetic field around us changes as well. The frequencies and vibrations, the information in that field changes every time we change our state of being. Another electromagnetic field is created by our brain, much smaller, much less powerful, but it also functions like a transmitter-receiver. And inside our brain, in the middle of our brain, we have this radio transmitter transceiver, which is called the pineal gland. Our pineal gland is full of calcite crystals. And those crystals have a piezoelectric effect. Difficult name for something that is a crystal that when you get pressure on it or vibrations on it, that it creates an electric current or an electric charge. Funny enough, our pineal gland has nerves going through the back of our head. And at the back of our brain is the processing unit for vision. Therefore, also the pineal gland is called for the third eye. So electric signals that the pineal gland catches up get transmitted through the nerves to the back of our head, back of our brain, where we have the area for vision. So you might already guess what we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus on our pineal gland. And we're also going to try to just open up. Since we're talking about the other side, I'm going to guide you just through a simple meditation where we go to a little cabin on a beach, for example. It's summer now, so we can imagine that. And we go inside that cabin. You can go sit on a chair and behind with your back to the door, and behind you then your spirit guide, or whatever it is. It can be a family, loved ones, it can be a pet, maybe just a helper, whatever can come in through that door, and you can try to communicate with it. If you're not into this, just do it for fun, okay? But try to be open-minded and try to just be curious, okay? It is sometimes some people will sometimes notice that it becomes very real, especially after this kind of meditation, when they get confronted with a situation that reminds them of what they have experienced during this kind of meditation. So I would just say have fun with it. And also don't get too hooked up onto it. Be relaxed about it. Don't have any specific expectations. Just follow along and have that curious state of being. So try to be curious all along and open and with a positive, fun attitude. So try to be curious. I would say playful and curious. Don't be like, ooh, what's going to happen? Is this, am I doing it right? Or what, am I doing something wrong because I have difficulties? Just relax, lean into it. Just let things go as they go. And if you let go in that way, you will notice that everything goes so much smoother and so much better. Okay, I would say let us just get started, okay? Let's try this. Again, this is not really going to focus on our heart, it is focusing on our pineal gland, on our third eye. So sit back, relax, take a nice good inhale through your nose. And breathe out through your mouth, lower your shoulders, close your eyes, loosen your jaw, let the day go. Breathe all the way out through your mouth and then in again through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Feel yourself getting centered, feel yourself getting ready. One more time, good deep inhale through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Let more of the day go, relax. This is time for you. You deserve it. Breathe normally. And then try to breathe a little slower and a little deeper than you usually would do. A little slower and a little deeper. And this is just to tell your body that it is in a safe place. Nice, slow, deep breaths. And on your next out breath, I want you to relax even more. Let more of your muscles relax. Settle down, settle down. Now I want you to try to look through your closed eyes. So focus on the part behind your eyes. Move your focus behind your eyes and between your ears. So you can make a line from behind your eyes and a line between your ears, and when those lines cross, there your focus should be. And try to look from that point through your eyes, through your closed eyes. Just imagine looking through your closed eyes from that point in the middle of your brain. Continue with nice, calm, deep breaths. And as you look through your closed eyes, create an image in front of you and around you of you standing on a beach. See yourself standing on the beach, looking out over the water, over the ocean, the sea, your feet in the sand. It's evening, the sun is setting. The waves are calmly rolling in. Just look around you, what do you see? Is there any wind? Can you smell the ocean? Are there any plants on the beach? Are there dunes behind you? Is there a pier or something like that? Just look around. Enjoy the view, the fresh air. And as you look around, you notice a small cabin on the beach. And you decide to walk towards this cabin. And as you walk towards this cabin, you notice more and more details of this cabin. You notice the color. You notice the structure. Notice what the cabin is made of. Is it made of wood, brick, something else? What does the roof look like? What shape does the roof have? Is the cabin standing on poles or directly in the sand on the beach, or maybe the cabin is standing on something else? As you get closer and closer, you see more details of this cabin, and just notice them as you walk towards this cabin. Try to find the entrance to the cabin and notice what the entrance looked like. Is there a little staircase up to the entrance, or can you just go straight into the cabin? Is there a door? What color is the door? What kind of door is it? The shape of the door. Notice every detail of this cabin. As you get closer and closer, walking towards the cabin, almost there, and now you are right in front of the entrance. You notice any windows you can look through? Try to look inside the cabin, and as you look inside the cabin, either through the entrance that is open or through a window, you see a cozy atmosphere. A few chairs, there's even a little fireplace there for the cold winters on the beach. There's a kitchen sink. There's a bed, a chair. Everything you need to feel cozy and at home is inside that cabin. It feels like you own this cabin, that this cabin is part of your family or owned by your family or owned by you. It's a very familiar cabin. Go inside. Walk to the entrance, open the door if there's a door, and go inside. And get yourself comfortable on the most comfy chair you can find there. But before you sit down, I want you to make sure that the back of the chair is turned towards the entrance, towards the door. And maybe if you turn the chair around, you notice that the back is facing towards the door and the front is facing towards that little fireplace, that cozy little fireplace. Sit down in the chair and relax. Imagine that you're closing your eyes again. And for a moment, I want you to breathe through your heart. So focus on your heart space as you sit in the chair in that nice, cozy little cabin on the beach. And focus on your heart space. And for a few moments, breathe through your heart. Just imagine breathing through your heart. Nice and calm, nice and slow. And as you do this, breathing through your heart, ask a question inside of you. Invite anyone over that supports you, that wants the best of you, to get inside the cabin with you, to come and join you inside the cabin. This could be a loved one, a family member, a friend. This could be a spirit guide. This could be anybody, any being, a pet. You can also ask for someone you don't know, but is in your soul family maybe. It's up to you, as long as it is someone that supports you and wants the best for you. So breathe through your heart and inside yourself ask for someone that supports you or some being that supports you to come through the door and join you in that nice, warm, cozy cabin on the beach. As you ask your question, breathe normally again, nice and calm, and relax into that feeling and just wait. And notice that somebody, someone, some being that likes you, that loves you, that wants to support you is coming through the door behind you. And let that being, let that person, let that somebody come in and get behind you. Invite him or her over. With your mind's eye, with your thoughts, with your feelings. And feel free the next minutes to start a conversation. You can ask who it is. And it's even better if you can ask yes or no questions, so questions that can be answered with yes or no. Just do that. Feel free to ask anything you like. Just experiment a little. Be curious. Have a conversation with that person, that being standing behind you. Very good. You can continue the conversation, but um, try to slowly make an end to the conversation. Try to wrap it up. You can say goodbye to your guide or your loved one or the person or the being that came into the cabin. Thank them for the conversation. And just know that even if you have to say goodbye now, that you can come back anytime to your cabin on the beach. And do the same thing over and over again, inviting in, maybe next time this particular person or being, or next time someone or somebody else. So say goodbye. Say thank you. Make sure you sit down in the chair again, if you maybe have stood up. And notice this person, this being, leaving the cabin. And now you can yourself stand up from the chair, walk towards the door, and leave your cabin back to the beach, your feet in the sand. Walk towards the waterline. As you stand in front of the waterline, looking out over the ocean and the waves, the sun has almost gone down. I want you to close your eyes again in front of that waterline and focus on your heart space. Focus on your heart space and create a nice feeling of gratitude inside of you. Grateful for this moment, grateful for the contact you had with this loved one, this person, this being that supports you throughout your life. Breathe through your heart and let those feelings of gratitude run throughout your body. And then it's time to slowly get back to our present moment by noticing the room you are in. Noticing the sounds of the room you are in. And breathe normally again. And as you breathe out, move your body slowly back and forth and from side to side as you sit in your chair. Wiggle with your fingers and toes. And when you are ready, open your eyes and welcome back. Welcome back. Alright, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this session. You can write back in the chat if you want. Often people also want to write something about what they experienced. Was the person or the being you met someone you knew? Was it a loved one? Was it someone you didn't know at all? Maybe it wasn't the person at all. It was an animal, for example, or some being you never seen or never recognized. That's the fun part of it. And you can always speculate what is imagination and what is real, or what is it all real? Well, I can say that a lot of things we imagine has an energy, and what we imagine creates a feeling and an inner experience, and that inner experience creates a different electromagnetic field around us through our heart. And that is as real as possible. And that electromagnetic field is in contact with all the other electromagnetic fields around us, and we influence the world around us through our state of being. So even if you don't believe in all of this, even if you think it's just imagination, the inner experience you just created has a tremendous effect on your body. It was a peaceful experience, at least I hope so, and that creates a physiology inside of your body of being in a peaceful environment. And this has only got benefits for you as well. So even if you think this is all dreaming and not important, woohoo, whatever, the whole experience you had has a positive effect on your body nevertheless. Because when we are in a peaceful state, when we are in a grateful state, when we experience something inside of us that is new, that creates curiosity, excitement maybe, or just plain joy or fun, that has a tremendous good effect on our body. Our body doesn't know the difference between an inner experience, even if it's made up by ourselves, or an external experience. So it will react in the same way. So happy hormones go throughout our bodies when we feel happy, if it's from the inside or from the outside, doesn't matter. So you had a benefit from it nevertheless. I find it very interesting just to play around with it, especially when you experience things like I experienced today, because you might not have seen it, and if you're not on Instagram, you don't see it at all. But those that had their eyes open during the session on Instagram, you might have noticed that the moment I said enter the cabin, that the lights started flickering here. I'm doing this meditation now and then myself. I always go to a cabin, I always open a door, and that kind of prepares my body already into getting an electromagnetic field of receivership and inviting someone over. And when, if you are into these things, if you've done this more often, when you notice when other energies, other beings, other things come into play into our reality, 3D reality, often it has effect on the electromagnetics or the electric equipment we have. And here the lamp here started flickering, which is something I've seen more often during these kinds of sessions when we do it in this way. So I hope that you might notice that sometimes as well. It isn't spooky, especially when you are in a state of being where you are afraid or just have no special expectations and are calm. These things are just being perceived as, oh, that's fun, that's curious. So yeah. Okay. I hope you had fun. If you want to write some your experience down and send them to me in a private message, that's all good for me. I might ask you if it's okay to share them with the group. But yeah, it's always nice to hear your experiences. So this was a different kind of meditation, not really heart-brain coherence, though we had some heart focus, but we were mainly focusing on our pineal gland, our little organ in the middle of our brain that is also called for the third eye. So yeah, I hope you had fun. If you have suggestions, questions for next week's session, just send them to me and we might put them into our session next week. Take good care, have a wonderful rest of your day and evening, be safe, and namaste.